Welcome to Upset Ankle Picks. It's Junior and Danny. Um, we've been gone for a minute. I apologize. We both apologize for that. Um, but we're gonna get right into this. This is UFC 280. This is happening this Saturday, October 22nd, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So this is happening over in Abu Dhabi, at Yas Island, and this is a loaded card. Danny, how you feel about this card?
Can you see it on my face?
Bro, I mean, this is the one, right? I mean, this is the one that we've been waiting for the entire year. So it's only right that we come back for this one, right? I mean, we're gonna keep on coming back. I mean, this just has to happen because it's just getting so crazy right now. You got Alex Pereira fighting over it. Izzy at the end of the year. I mean, we have to do that one too. But this one right here, this 280, oh, bro. I mean, it's a loaded card, and I mean, let's talk about this, right? I mean, let's
And
talk.
just when you think that we're gonna run out of fights,
It's not going to happen.
It's not gonna happen.
It's not going to happen.
Someone always climbed up the ladder, and we always gonna get something, that really caught people interest. So I'm so excited for this fight.
I mean, we all are. This is just going to be so great. So we have the main event, which is Charles Oliveira versus Islam Makhachev. Super excited for that one, and we'll get to that. Aljamain Sterling versus TJ Dillashaw. It's bound to happen, right? The shocker on this card, to be honest with you, Peter Yan versus Sean O'Malley, Sugar. I mean, I don't even know how to feel about that. But then you have Beneil Dariush and Mateusz Gamrot, which, I mean, honestly, this one could be the fight of the night. And I understand who's on this card. Believe me. But Beneil Dariush is such an animal. And we'll talk about that too. Caitlin Chukagian versus Manon Fiorot. I mean, this is a good fight too. I mean, this entire card from front to back, I mean, the entire thing is stacked. There is not a bad card or a bad fight on this main event. So, Danny, let's get right into it. Caitlin Chukagian, Manon Fiorot. How do you feel?
I was watching a couple fights actually today, and Caitlin, she does have good striking.
Yeah,
she can move well. Her takedown defense is not that great, but you don't have to worry about in this fight because we all know that they're gonna stand and bang.
Right.
That being said, I do Manon, which she been in the UFC for a little bit over a year now, right? She's recently, start fighting for the UFC. Man, she's so explosive and big for that weight division.
She really is.
And she got power.
Yeah.
She got power. She got technique. She got good knees when she can hit that body. And once she gets you hurt, it is over. A million punches. It almost reminded me, I never seen a female fighter having that explosiveness. Of course, you got Amanda Nunes. But her punches are so fast. Have you seen Belfort when he used to hit people and used to throw punches? It reminds me almost like him, So I think I'm gonna go with Manon. I think that she's very explosive. She's slow. She's so athletic. Her striking is just on another level. So I just gonna go.
And I mean, I agree with you 100%. Manon is just she's more all around. She has more weapons. She's karate. I mean, she's going to use her legs. She's got, I mean, actually a little bit more than a handful of knockouts. I mean, she's got the power. She's got the strength. Caitlin, on the other hand, I mean, she's going to try to piece her up, and she's not going to be able to stand with her. I don't think so. I mean, she's got great boxing, but she's so one-dimensional. I don't think it's going to help her here. I mean, I feel I'm on the fence, man. I really want to see Caitlin do this because she's been on a tear, but at the same time, I don't think she has what it takes to beat out Manon for this fight for the win. So I'm gonna have to say Manon wins this fight. I mean, I hate to say it, but Caitlin, I hope you pull it out. I really do, because I just don't see it working out. But so we both have Manon on that first one. Let's go straight into the next one, which is Beneil Dariush and Mateusz Gamrot. I mean, I'm all for Beneil Dariush winning this fight. He's such an animal, and he's straight about his business. He gets into that ring or that octagon, and he's after one thing, and that's blood, and that's exactly what we're gonna get. This is gonna be a banger, and I think Beneil Dariush is just gonna be able to stand it. Mateusz is gonna shoot for the takedown, probably a couple of times.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's going to be able to get him down because Beneil's always moving. He's always working. He's always pushing forward. So I think Mateusz is going to have to work a little bit harder to try to get him down to the ground. I don't see it happening in this.
has he fought any wrestlers? Dariush, does he got a lot of experience in wrestling? Yeah, I know he fought high caliber strikers. You know, he fought Barboza. He, his striking is great.
Ferguson, Ferreira, Holtzman. Oh, they both fought Holtzman. They both beat Holtzman. Hot Sauce, Scott Hot Sauce Holtzman, which is probably the worst nickname. But I mean, not a whole lot. I mean, Drew Dober. I just see.
I think this is gonna come down to who gets to make the first move first. Like, who's gonna dictate the fight, because
that's what it's gonna come down to. Who's gonna set the pace? And honestly, I see it being Beneil. I mean, he's just such an animal when he's going at it. And when he's in that octagon, man, I mean, he's not going to stop until he wins. So I think it's going to be a fun fight because it's a striker versus a wrestler. Beneil's going to be standing the entire time, trying not to go onto the ground. I mean, Gamrot's going to try. He's going to shoot. He's probably going to have upwards of five shoots, easily. But I don't think he's going to be able to do it. I don't. I think Beneil is he's just a different guy. He doesn't care. Like he's this guy. Like he's probably the most explosive fighter on this card, and I'm aware of who's on this card. Trust me, I am. But I think Beneil Dariush is just so much more explosive than anybody on here. So I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a good one. Like I said, fight of the night. This is my candidate for fight of the night. And again, I understand who is on this card. So I'm going Beneil. I'm Beneil.
I do. I'm a fan of Dariush, and I can see why you can choose him. But if I had to bet $100,000 and I had to win it for sure, I think I'm gonna go there with a wrestler, and I'm gonna give my reason why. I just think when it comes to wrestling, I haven't seen Dariush fight many wrestlers because lightweight division, other than Khabib, and Khabib is gone. Who do you have as a wrestler? There's not many wrestlers in the lightweight division as of right now. So there's only strikers. Of course, you got Justin Gaethje. But Dariush, I have not seen him fight like a high caliber wrestler, and I just think that he's gonna go for straight for the money. He's just gonna try to clinch with him, try to make him tired, and try to win in decision. So I'm gonna go with Gamron by decision. I don't think he can finish Dariush, in my opinion. But if he's gonna win, it's gonna be by maybe a split decision.
I could see it going either way, to be honest with you. Because again, I think this is the fight of the night. I don't think it's a knockout of the night. I don't think it's a anything like that. I think this is legitimately the knockout of the night, or the fight of the night. It might go all 3 rounds, and if it does, it's just gonna be a banger the entire time. So I'm super excited for this fight. Probably not the fight I want to see the most on this card, but definitely really excited for this fight. It's gonna be really fun. So we're split on this one. I got Beneil, you got Gamrot. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'm not saying that he's gonna run through a Dariush.
No, I think it's a decision too.
Yeah. But he got dynamite on his hand. He got knockout.
Yeah. No, they both do. They both have knockout power. So I'm intrigued to see, like you said, who strikes first.
Yeah, who shoot first?
Yeah.
Who's first move? So.
All right. So we're the same on the first, split on the second. I'm going to say that we're split on the next one too. So this next one,
is that what you go for? I mean,
listen. So this is an exciting fight too. Peter Yan versus Sean O'Malley. Sugar Sean. Man, how do you feel? I want to hear what you think first before I start going in my tangent.
Well, life is all about taking risks, but sometimes the risk could be danger. So that being said, I know Sugar has been on a run. He's been improving. He's striking. I think he started in the UFC when he was like 22 years old, right? He's like 7. So he got the experience now. He's been in the UFC for 5 years, right? Is it right? Like 5 years?
Quite a bit. Yeah, it's been about 5 years, yeah.
Yeah, so you could see, he's 27 years old. He's about to be in his prime. And I think if Young is going to have problems, it's going to be with the kicks. And maybe with the distance because he's very long. But I think the pressure is going to be a little bit too much for him. I think he's just going to run. He's going to take damage. Young is going to take damage. I'm not saying that he's going to destroy him. He's going to use his kick, but ultimately, I think that Young has the cardio and he has the pressure to shut down O'Malley. I just think that, Young is an assassin, man. That guy's a monster. Yeah, he lost to the champion, Sterling, by decision in the wrestling. But when you talk about striking, go toe-to-toe, I just think Young is a monster, man. I think that he's going to get this one.
Oh, and so I know both of these fighters, right? So I think you're not wrong. So this is a very dangerous fight for Sugar. And I'm not going to deny that at all. This is definitely a very dangerous fight for Sugar. So the way I understand it is after his last fight against Pedro Munoz, it was a no contest because of the eye poke. He couldn't finish it. So, and I was excited for that fight too. And unfortunately, it just never happened. So the way I understand it is he left that fight, and the only person in the top 10, because he does deserve a top 10 fight.
Yeah.
The only person left in the top 10 bracket that didn't have a fight was Jan. So he asked Dana to be like, yo, can we do this? And Dana agreed.
If I hear correctly, O'Malley asked Dana for a top 5 fighter, and he asked for Young.
He wanted a top 10 fighter, but everybody in the top 10 had a fight coming up. So the only person that didn't have a fight coming up was Jan. So here we are. I'm not mad at that. I think it's a very bold move.
And it's a high reward at the end of the day.
It's through the roof.
If he beats Jan, I mean, he's already a star now.
Yeah.
Like, he's very well known, but his career is gonna go through the roof.
So here's my thing: is I feel like since seeing him come into the UFC and seeing him progress, I do think that he's been progressing, and he's been cherry picking. I will say he's been cherry picking his fights, which is not the smartest move, because it doesn't really prepare you for a fight like this that is inevitably going to happen, right? So you want to pace yourself, right? You want to get there eventually. This is a big fight for him. So I think he can do it. I do think that he is an elite striker. Off of what we've seen and what he can do, he can strike with the best of them. And I was looking at the significant strikes landed per minute. He's got almost 8 strikes landed per minute, whereas Jan's only got 6, close to 6. So I mean, I think his speed is definitely going to help him. And I think it comes down to how hard he's going to be hitting. Those significant strikes need to be significant. Every single one, you have to rock him, because it's Jan, right? The other big thing that I see on this is, dude, that reach advantage. He's got a 5-inch reach advantage over Peter Yan. That's huge. That's huge. That's a half a foot. Off by an inch, but I mean, it's still 5 inches, right? I mean, it's a 5-inch reach advantage. You're going to be in trouble. You have to be able to come in close. And if he's throwing 7 to 8 punches a minute, you're going to get damaged, a lot of damage. So I think it's a difficult fight for Peter Yan. Is it an impossible fight? No. But I think it's a more difficult fight for Sugar. But I think that, I don't know, man. I think a lot of people are sleeping on his skill set, because he hasn't really been progressing the way he should be in taking better fighters each time that he goes. Because, I mean, it really hasn't been like that. He almost lost that fight against Moutinho, right? Moutinho. I mean, not really lost it, but he couldn't finish it. And that's a problem. You need to be able to finish a fighter, especially if it's a fill-in at the last fucking minute, right? I mean, and that's what Moutinho was. He was a fill-in. He got dropped like 6 months later from the UFC. That was it. He only got a 1-fight deal, and it was against Sugar, and it went the distance, and Sugar struggled. So I mean, it's not the ideal fight for Sugar, but I definitely think he can win it. So honestly, I'm going with Sugar. I have to go with Sugar, because I've been watching this guy from the beginning. Jan is getting up there. He's almost out of his peak, right? I mean, Sugar is just coming into it. So
I mean, let's just put it like this: anybody can win a fight. If you're in a
hands down,
if you're UFC, you can win a fight.
Yeah,
it's just about how you implement your skill sets inside the octagon, and who implement the game plan. So we just have to wait and see. So, but yeah, that's my pick, man.
I mean,
yeah.
look, looking at these guys both as strikers, 5-inch reach advantage, 2 extra hits a minute. It's difficult for me to go with Jan. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I can understand why. I mean, because of the, local John Jones, how he dominated the division because of his reach.
Yeah.
So I can see why, but Young is he's just a monster. He's a beast, man. You don't care. He just walked.
Well, and like you said with John Jones, right? Arguably, you can say the same thing about Izzy. Izzy's probably like, he's got such a reach advantage over anybody he fights. It's going to be a problem. So, I mean, it's difficult when you don't have, when it's much more difficult when you're a smaller guy, 100%. Because if you can't, because then you have to close that distance. And then when you're closing that distance, you have to worry about getting rocked because it's bound to happen. You're getting too close. So, I mean, I could go all day with this, right? I'm with Sugar. I got to go with Sugar. So we're split on this one too. You would go with Jan. You would go with Jan. That's it. That's it.
I got Jan, man. I got Jan. I'm telling you.
All right.
But I can respect your opinion. It's okay.
I mean, you also have to think about, like, again, Sean wanted a top 10 fighter, right? And he's number 11. He's ranked number 11. Jan is number 1. So I mean, it's literally you got your top 10, right? I mean, but this is huge. Would you argue the point that he gets a title shot if he wins this?
For sure, man.
Okay.
Of course, 100%.
So in other words,
but look how Hamza beat Gilbert Burns, number 2. I mean, he's not fighting for the title, but he's going. He's fighting. He's fighting all the fighters. But once he, get an opportunity for the title shot, he will get it.
So, I mean, we'd have to talk about. We'll talk about Hamza at another time. I can go off on a tangent with him too.
We'll talk about that in another video.
That's my guy. But we'll talk about him at another time. So split on Jan and OMalley. So I want to hear your breakdown of this next fight, which is the co-main event. So this is also a title weight, a title belt shot for bantamweight. Aljamain Sterling versus TJ Dillashaw. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, there's TJ Dillashaw, his credential, 2 times champion, how fought one of the best guys, he beat Renan Barao. When Renan Barao was like the monster, 25 winning streak. And he just destroyed him in the first fight and in the second fight. He lost the title to Cruz and then came back and win a second time, beat Cody Garbrandt twice.
Yep.
So, I mean, his striking, you could see at the beginning of his career how he switched his striking, his movement. He got great cardio. He got wrestling. But Aljamain Sterling have made a lot of improvements, and that's something that we cannot deny. You saw that fight with Jan. He took him down. It's just going to come down to, like I said, Sterling, he's going to go for the wrestling for sure. I don't think he's going to stand up and strike with TJ. I think he's going to make I don't think that he's going to take him down that easy in the first round. But I tell you, if he goes to 5 rounds, I'm going to favor TJ Dillashaw. So this is a tough fight because they both wrestle, but I just think that the jiu-jitsu for argument's standing is better. You know, he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu and his wrestling is crazy. But TJ is gonna be hard to take down because of his movement. He's not a stationary fighter. He's always moving. So I think I'm gonna go with TJ. I don't know if he's gonna finish him. It's gonna be really hard. But if he wins, I think it's gonna be by decision.
Yeah, I follow you. I'm with you 100%. I mean, can we just talk about how I don't like Aljamain Sterling either?
You said it. I didn't say anything.
Not a fan, man. Not a fan.
I mean, I don't like. I can see why you don't like his style. You know, just only taking people down. I can see why. You know, but
I think it's more about the way he got the title. I thought it was a cheap win. And then you can argue that they had a rematch and he won by decision. It was a split decision. I mean, it could have gone either way. I think I do. I'm not a fan of him always going to the ground. He's a great fighter for sure. But I don't think this is going to go straight to the ground. I think they're going to stand for a little bit, which is going to be a mistake for Sterling because I think Dillashaw's stand-up striking game is just 10 times better than Sterling's. And with you have to think about the thing too. Sterling's going to try to go for the takedowns, but Dillashaw is an elite wrestler. I mean, what are you doing? It's going to be difficult to take him down. Very difficult, like you said. So I do think this is going to go the distance, all 5 rounds, 25 minutes. I'm not saying it's going to be a snooze fest. I think it's going to be a fun fight, and it's going to be an action-packed fight. And I think Sterling is going to try to get to the ground multiple times, and I think Dillashaw is just going to stuff him probably more times than not. So I mean, I do think this goes the distance. I think Dillashaw wins with this.
And
with the
Asian wrestling, TJ Dillashaw.
What'd you say? Say again.
NCAA division wrestling.
Yeah, NCAA.
And he's a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So that makes it a little bit more difficult for Sterling and a little bit more dangerous for Sterling to go to the ground too. Because at that point, you have somebody who is difficult to take down in the first place. And then you have to worry about the counters, right? Counter submissions. Because to be honest, didn't think that he was going to be doing a whole lot of submissions. So, or submission attempts. But if you're going to go to the ground with that guy, for sure, especially if you're trying to do your jiu-jitsu too.
You know, one fight that I regret, that I'm not that happy that I ended quick with TJ when he fought Henry Cejudo, because that was the time to show TJ Dillashaw takedown defense, but the fight ended like in 20 seconds. Man.
I mean, Cejudo. You're talking about Cejudo though.
Yeah, Cejudo Olympic wrestler. I mean, what I'm saying is, I would have liked it for a little longer, just to see, you know, how Dillashaw defense, you know. But when he fought Cruz, he was taken down maybe like twice, but he got up right away. Like once you take him down, he can get out right away because he's so, you know, he's so athletic. So we'll see. We'll see how he's gonna handle argument wrestling. I think he's gonna handle it very well.
Split decision, Dillashaw wins, I think.
Yeah.
All right. So here we go. Right? Main event. Chucky Olives, my guy, versus Islam Makhachev. Listen, I'm gonna let you go first, please.
Well, this is the moment that we all been waiting for months. And now finally it's gonna be here on Saturday. My first thought is he's gonna go to enemy territory, Chucky Olive. You know, I don't think a lot of people are gonna room for it. And the most crazy thing is that people still doubting him. People still doubting Charles Oliveira, which is crazy. You know, you see the change that he has made. You know, he started out at 145, right? He got a great career at 145, but once he moved up to 155, you could see how he gained muscles. His striking got better. And not only that, do you remember when I tell you that he had a problem with his vision? That he always tells the story that he see like 3 opponents. You remember this morning when you call me at work, and I tell you that I got some news for Charles Oliveira. I was going to tell you some news that I heard.
Yeah.
You know that he got a surgery, and he can see 100% now. His eyesight.
Oh,
So we'll now let me say this: we cannot sleep on Islam because Islam, he's a monster on the ground. And I think Islam Makhachev striking is better than Habib striking, 100%. The only, he also fight a southpaw, which is, that makes the fight more interesting. I think the only way Islam Makhachev is going to win is just be in the clinch. Be in the clinch and maybe do like a judo, because he got a background in judo, taking him down like that. Other than that, I don't think he can be Charles Oliveira with striking. It'll be crazy if he's taken down using double legs or single, because Charles Oliveira is going to take he's going to take that neck. And I have seen previous fight how he gave out his back, and he was taken down by someone that is not even an elite wrestler in one of his last fight. So that being said, Islam Makhachev is a monster. I mean, I think his team is overestimating Charles Oliveira. I don't know if it's mind games, but I think that's crazy. But I think I'm gonna go with my boy Charles. I just think that he got more wins, more ways to win.
I mean, the champ already has a name. Bro, Chucky Olives. Chucky Olives in the second. Bro, Chucky Olives in the second. I mean,
but did you agree with me with the breakdown that
100%? Yeah, for sure. Islam is elite wrestling. I mean, that's you don't get better wrestling than that. I mean, there's something in the water over there, right? I mean, that we can agree on that. Chucky though is just he's just a monster. I mean, Makhachev could be a monster. Chucky is the boogeyman. I mean, bro, Chucky is just he's going to stand with him. You know it. You already know it. They're gonna stand for a little bit. He's gonna get rocked. He's gonna go. He's gonna take his. He's gonna drop down to guard. He's gonna pull him into guard, and he's gonna take his back.
I mean, I don't know if he's gonna get dropped, because
he's not gonna get dropped.
Yeah,
he's not gonna get dropped. He's gonna go down himself, because that's what he does. If he gets trouble on the feet, if you go back and watch any of his fights, he gets trouble on the feet, gets rocked a little bit, he drops down. He drops down and tries to pull you into him, and then takes you down to the ground. And then he just has his way with you, because he's a spider. Like Anderson Silva doesn't get that name anymore. Chucky is the spider now, because he's got these long ass limbs, and he's gonna be able to get around you your back, and he's just gonna be able to And you could be standing, you can be on the ground. It doesn't matter. He's got what, 7 or what, like 5 rear naked chokes from standing rear naked chokes.
He
Who
got
does
the
that?
missions in UFC history.
Right. And his favorite
No,
way to do it is standing. Like, what are you doing? I mean, he's an animal. Let's just agree on that. Chucky is winning this fight. And I agree. I think they are underestimating him. I like, I don't know why Chucky wins this fight. So I think do you think decision, or do you think he's finishing?
No, I think it's gonna go by submission.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
if you look at it, the way it's on fight, he already said that he's gonna take him down. So his plan, I already know what he's gonna do.
Yeah, he's gonna try to take him down, and then Chucky's gonna take
No,
over.
gonna like here's how the fight's gonna play out. And mark my words. The bell is gonna sound, and they're gonna run through the middle of the cage. And whoever get pressure, they're gonna try to pressure each other. Because if you think about it, how is Islam gonna win? He's gonna put it in the cage, because that's, you don't get submitted like when you do in the clinch. It's very hard to submit someone like that. So he's gonna do either he's gonna take him down and maybe be side guard. If he be like full, like in any other position, he's gonna be in danger. He cannot do double leg takedowns on him. He cannot do single legs. You gotta eliminate that. So there's only, like, he's very limited. You're gonna see when the fight happens. He's gonna try to take him to the cage. That's what he's gonna do.
No, and you're right.
Work on the clinch, and that's how he's gonna do it. But other than that, I don't see him. I don't see him taking down like he take down his other opponents.
No,
he got balls to do that. So
yeah, no, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. We'll end up seeing Chucky versus Khabib by end of next year. Mark my words. I'll say it.
Are you gonna what?
Khabib versus Chucky by end of next year.
I don't think so. I think Khabib is done, man. I don't think that he's gonna come back and fight.
No, but it's not going to be at UFC. It's going to be Eagle fighting. It's going to be a Eagle Fight Championship. That's what it is. But all right, man. So we both have Chucky. We both have TJ. We're split on Jan and Sugar. We're split on Beneil and Gamrot. And we both have Manon. So honestly, man, I'm super excited for these Abu Dhabi fights. The best part about it is 10 o'clock in the morning prelim start, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, main event starts, or main card starts. So, but Danny, I appreciate your time. I appreciate everybody watching. Like, share, comment.
Please share this video with your friends.
Yep. And we will see you guys next week for a recap show. See you guys later.
Yeah.